It works nicely, works here. Oh, thank you Krishe, for reminding. Yeah. It works nicely, works here. Oh, thank you Krishe, for reminding. So that's not recorded. I can share all these presentations with you if you are interested. But my only request is don't share with others. Just keep it for your own study. Because if you share with others, what will happen is if I call them for session or you call them for session, they say, I have the presentation, I don't need to come. Right? So that tendency is not going to help them. So that is the reason I had made this presentation like, I don't know, almost 7 years back. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So let me start recording this as well. Okay. Share my screen. When I have heard this scripture named Bhagavatam before coming here? So most of you have already heard. Okay. You don't know what is it. Okay. So today is Radhashtami and a very essential day where you can take Bhagavatam, you can give Bhagavatam. We have in our satsang group, we have placed Bhagavatam more than 50 temples in Hyderabad, Secunderabad. Right? We sponsored and we kept Bhagavatam sitting. And we have a goal, internal goal, that we want to do more than 1,000 sets in this Hyderabad, Secunderabad in the next few years. So that when scripture is there in the temple actually is the temple. Right? And there we can discuss this. Katha should happen. So people learn about God, people learn about devotion, people learn about science or spirituality. Do you all learn something about cows today? Yes. Something that you will share with your friends? Yeah. Yes. So you can learn more things like that. So Srimad Bhagavatam, if you want to learn, there are like Bhagavatam has 5 tracks. It's almost like a movie. Stories coming together and Bhagavatam is revealed, right? So there are 5 tracks here. First, track number 1 is who is Parikshit Maharaj? Track number 2 is why did Parikshit Maharaj go to the banks of Yamuna? Third track is how and why Srimad Bhagavatam descended on the earth. Track number 4, who is Sukadeva Goswami? Track number 5, what were the questions of Parikshit Maharaj? So remember one thing, all these three things are happening in parallel. And finally, we'll spend a little time getting a glimpse of what is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. And then glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. So try, who is Parikshit Maharaj? Anybody here? Yes, go ahead.
He was the son of Abhimanyu and Uttara.
Yes, he was the son of Abhimanyu and Uttara. Anything else you know about Parikshit Maharaj? That is. Yes. So which is what we'll discuss now. Yes. In a way, yeah. After that, Janmejaya was also there. After him, his son, and then the lineage continued. There were many others. Yeah, but prominent, you can say. Yeah, prominent to be known. He was one of the last kings in the dynasty of Pandavas, right? Yes, Krishna saved him while he was in the womb. And from what he saved? From Brahmastra. Okay. Anyway, now we'll go through the story in a proper way. Because I know some of you don't know. I don't want to confuse and say that. Right? Quickly, glories of Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj uh, as you all know, Ashwadhama released the Brahmastra to kill the Pandavas, right? But then it was diverted to kill Parikshit because he was the last descendant. And Ashwadhama was such a bad person. He wanted to kill the child in the womb also. Womb is protected by Lord Rama, it is told. A lot of people say, that when a child is in the womb, he is protected by the Supreme Lord. That is the reason there is so much water inside, right? Such a much protection. And for the first 5 years, Lord Ram gives protection to all the children, it is told. Because they can go and put the finger somewhere. They can fall from somewhere. So they always say Lord Ram protect the children. So you should not be too much worried. Lord Ram is there. Always, take that protection. So the Brahmastra came and Lord Krishna came and stopped the Brahmastra from entering the womb. And he explained Lord Krishna was the size of a thumb inside the womb. Right? And Parikshit, this is the boy Parikshit. He first time saw Krishna. Where did he see? Inside the womb. Right? And as soon as he saw inside the womb, he was so attracted to Krishna that, oh, this beautiful personality, who is he? And by the time Parikshit grew, Krishna was not there on the planet, he already left. And after that, he was always searching for that person, Krishna, everywhere. That is why he was named as Parikshit, who keeps searching all the time. Parikshit means the Parikshit tarike se dekhte rehta hai. He is searching very, very attentively. That is the name. His name is Parikshit. And Parikshit was is explained that he was a Raja Rishi. Meaning Rishi means Brahmanas, people who have spiritual knowledge. And kings don't have that much spiritual knowledge. But greatest of Parikshit Maharaj was he had spiritual knowledge. Also, he had a Brahmanical traits, and also he was a great king, Raja Rishi. Right? And Parikshit means examiner. Yeah. So this is mentioned. But you can see there are a lot of references from Srimad Bhagavatam. When you read the story in Srimad Bhagavatam, it's so nectarian. Right? Verse by verse. Kripacharya was his guru, and he ruled the entire earth. Parikshit Maharaj ruled the entire earth. Remember that. Now, it's very difficult for us to conceive that the emperor of the whole world used to sit in India. India was a Bharat Varsha. And from here, all the different kings around the world were ruled. Just like one prime minister is sitting in Delhi, all the states are being ruled. In the same way, the emperor used to sit in this part of the world, and the whole world was ruled by different kings. And there are so many references of Pandavas going to so many countries and conquering so many kings during Rajsur Yajna, where they got money, where they had problems. And if you really read the scriptures, they went to Russia, they went to Europe, Norway. Arjuna killed a king in Norway and he got a lot of gold from Norway. That is the reason his name is Dhananjaya, Dhana Jaya. Dhan ko dita. Like that. So I also told sometime back about testing of weapons. It used to happen in a place called Astralaya, which is now called as Australia. Right? And there are so many other places which are there on this planet, which were actually being ruled and being taken care from here. Right? And it's difficult for us to conceive now. And the whole illusion that scientists have created, there was one tract of land, got divided, 7 continents came. 7 continents were there when Earth was created itself. That's why it was called Sattva Dvipa. 7 continents. It was mentioned millions of years ago. So a lot of science, the so-called science, which we know has only given wrong information to us, and we think that a lot of things are getting created or being created, but it is already there. Right? We heard that more in the scripture session, if you remember. We went through a lot of examples. The scriptures are saying so many things which are true even today. So nobody could dare to kill the helpless under the protection. He ruled the world as a great devotee of the Lord. And as a king, he was responsible for all living beings. So Parikshit Maharaj felt responsible for not only humans, all living beings. That was the greatest of a king. So Parikshit conquered the world. See, it's not like he's emperor, so he's emperor once. So emperor has to go and reassure himself that all the kings are still reporting to him or not. Right? It's a natural thing. So Parikshit went this time again to reconquer the world, or rather reassure that everybody are following dharma. And he saw this person, a black color person, very dirty looking. He was coming and beating the bulls and cows. At that time, Parikshit got very angry. And he started beating that person up. And that person was none other than Kali Purusha. So whenever a yuga has to start that yuga, a person has to come. And that person is Satya Yuga person, Dwapar Yuga person, Kali, like that you also Treta Yuga person and Kali Yuga person. So when that person comes, he will start the Kali Yuga with the qualities of Kali Yuga. What are the qualities of Kali Yuga? Prominent qualities of Kali Yuga? Hypocrisy,
Conflict.
quarrel for everything, right? Little things people will quarrel. You sit straight, I'm already sitting straight. What is your problem? Khatam. Quarrel will start. Right? For no reason, people will quarrel. That is the quality of Kali Yuga, don't worry. In Satya Yuga, people will not quarrel. Even if you go and shout at that person, he'll just look at you. Hari bol, he'll want to. But in Kali Yuga, just look at a person. Kya dekh raha hai? Kuch nahi dekha. Ladai start. Like that. That is the problem in Kali Yuga. So Kali Purusha comes to start the Kali Yuga. His job is to start the Kali Yuga. You might ask, Prabhuji, why should Kali Yuga come? Why should Kali Yuga come? Because there are still some backbenchers who don't want to go back to God. And they have some very good ideas to enjoy. Enjoy in illegal ways, in immoral ways. So to fulfill that desire also something has to be created. Na? See, why there are wine shops in the city? Because there are going to be some drunkards. They also need some. So government provides for that. Not that they are doing seva. But Krishna also creates one yuga where all these nonsense activities can happen. And at the end of the yuga, he comes as Kalki, slices everybody off, and Satya Yuga starts again. Right? So, in this Kali Yuga, when Kali Purusha comes, he has to spread irreligion. And irreligion starts with breaking the 4 legs of Dharma. So, what are the 4 legs of Dharma? Sauchyam, Satyam, Tapasya, Daya. No meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. These 4 things are the 4 legs of Dharma. And Dharma is represented by bull. Bull represents Dharma. Earth is represented by cow. So when the 4 legs of Dharma are removed, complete adharma will start on the planet. So this person was coming and cutting off the 4 legs of Dharma. And you can see the legs are already chopped off, right? And Parikshit Maharaj could not take it. And he wanted to kill that bull right there. So there is a conversation between the bull and the cow. The cow is crying and the bull is going and asking, why are you crying? You can read this later, when I publish it. So at the end, the bull says that cow says that I'm crying because the adharma is spreading and Lord Krishna has left this planet. I don't want to be here. You can see what is happening today. Hyderabad is the highest beef producing city, if you don't know. Right? Unfortunately. And no things are going to happen here. So much karma is going to be accumulated here. Right? So it's only increasing more and more. And the people, we blame other religions, but 80% of the slaughterhouses are owned by Hindus. Right? That is the situation. Where cow, instead of being worshipped, is being butchered. Did you see the innocence in the eyes of cows there? Can you imagine they being killed? So that is the reason, we try our best to save the cows. So whenever there is opportunity, we buy the cows which are going sent to slaughterhouses. Now we stop because the space constraint. But Godanam, Goseva, everything we encourage by getting those cows here. But we all have to do our part. As I said, in your village, in your locality, wherever you are, encourage people. Goseva cannot happen in one place. One Lilananda is nothing. Right? Or one group is nothing. It has to be in many, many groups. First thing first, support your villages. I'm sure all of you have a village. Something is there. Go support in that village. Somebody. See, it takes 4,000 rupees to fill your petrol tank, isn't it? 4 or 5,000 rupees. Just imagine one tank is for a cow and give that money to one farmer and he'll take care of a cow for you. Simple. We have to do our part. We cannot be responsible because if we are, this planet is going to be completely devastated without cows. Right? So here the bull is crying, the cow is crying that Lord Krishna has left. And here Parikshit Maharaj you have seen Kali Purusha building the cow. And there Parikshit Maharaj goes to kill that Kali Purusha. He's so strong. Parikshit Maharaj is so strong that he can even go and kill the Kali Purusha. And Kali Purusha says, hey Parikshit, I have to be somewhere. I'm also serving God only. I have to start Kali Yuga. Start karne do. And Parikshit Maharaj said, okay, you can start your Kali Yuga at a place where there is illicit sex, where there is gambling, where there is intoxication, and where there is meat eating. All these 4 places you can go and start your Kali Yuga. Then Parikshit Maharaj says, then Kali Purusha says to Parikshit Maharaj, Maharaj, indirectly you're telling I don't have a place. Because until you are the planet, 4 things will not happen. You have to show me some place where you should start my activity. Then Parikshit Maharaj says, okay, you can go to a place where gold is there. You can reside in money. You can reside in gold, especially. Right? And that is where Kali Purusha went and finally found his place. That is the reason people fight in the name of gold. Even after mother dies, daughters come and fight in the name of gold. Right? Even after ancestor dies, people find the gold is so glaring because Kali is sitting inside. This was a negotiation that happened. And I'm just skipping through the slide, just trying to go a little fast. You can read the presentation later. Kali Purusha told finally, I'll sit in the gold. So he could live where gold has been kept. For in such places, there is invariably falsity, intoxication, lust, envy, and enmity. That is going to be there. So who is Parikshit Maharaj? You all got to know, right? Yeah? Any doubts? No. Why Parikshit went to the banks of Yamuna? Actually, what Parikshit Maharaj, he went out for hunting. As I told you, it's duties of the king to hunt deers. Because in that region, if deers are not hunted, the lions will increase and tapasvis will have problem. And deer skin is needed by the tapasvis. And deers are a very good way to improve your chivalry skill. For several reasons, as a seva, the hunting was done. So while doing that hunting, he got very tired. And he went to this ashram of Samika Rishi to get water. And whenever a king comes to take water, it is a duty of the citizens to give them water. There is no discussion there. But unfortunately, Samika Rishi was a devotee of Krishna and he was in trance, remembering the pastimes of Krishna. Unfortunately, he was like that. Fortunate, but in that situation, he was not paying attention. And as soon as Parikshit Maharaj saw that he was not being addressed to, he was not being given the water, he immediately thought of insulting the Rishi and he looked at dead skin of a snake. He removed the dead skin and put it on the neck of Samika Rishi. So you might be asking, Prabhuji, but he is a great king who is to respect Brahmanas. How can he do that to a Rishi? Right? Now, what was the helmet that he was wearing? What was it made with? Gold. Kali Purusha induced him. Do this particular offense. It induced him. He himself told, stay in the gold, but he forgot that gold is also on my head. Right? So that very Kali Purusha made him do this incident. And this incident was very important for Srimad Bhagavatam to come to us. So it was a plan that Parikshit Maharaj put that snake, dead snake, and then after that he left. He left that place. But right after leaving that place, Parikshit Maharaj started thinking, what did I do? Why did I do this? How could I do this? Oh Krishna, you made me do this for what? Right? He was thinking, and then he understood there must be a great plan that is going to happen. And as soon as he left, Parikshit Maharaj put the snake and left. His Shringi is the son of Samika Rishi. So he came and he got to know, his friends told him that some king came to your house and he left. And his father, so he went and saw his father, he had a snake on his neck. So Shringi became very, very angry. Right? And then when he asked his friends, the friends told, yeah, we saw Parikshit Maharaj coming to your house. Immediately Shringi cursed that this king who came and put that snake, dead snake on my father's neck will die in 7 days with the snake bite. Like that he cursed. And as soon as the curse happened, the news of that went to Parikshit Maharaj in the kingdom. Now just imagine if somebody is cursing just like that. Will it come true these days? It will not come true. But in those days, the purity of Brahmana was so much that simply a curse would immediately work. See, in Vedic culture, women are utmost respected and taken care. Because women have chastity and Supreme Lord loves them a lot. So a man, if he tortures a woman and a woman curses, the curse would immediately come true. Immediately it will come true. Like for example, Urvashi cursed Ravan. that because you touched me, I am cursing you, that any other woman you touch against her will, you will be burned to ashes. Even though he had a boon from Brahma, that nobody can kill him, but still, even Ravan was scared of a woman's curse. Because woman's curse is so powerful. And that is the reason in Vedic culture, women are never mistreated, always respected. Not because they curse, but they are the most, say the respect of the family is in the hands of the woman in the house. Like that it is treated. Right? It's so unfortunate that today Vedic culture is shown exactly opposite. So in Vedic culture is to suppress women or to do like, no, it's not like that. Bhagavatam starts with the woman's prayers of Queen Kunti, right? So much is there in the Vedas. So here, even a small Brahmana could curse and the curse would come true. And Parikshit Maharaj was such a king that Narad Muni, Lord Shiva would come and meet him. Just imagine the kind of king he was. He could even reverse the curse. He had a power to reverse the curse, but he did not reverse the curse. He immediately understood that this curse is going to do something great to me. Right? So it is a curse planned by the Supreme Lord. So whatever happens is being planned by the Supreme Lord, I'm going to accept it. Right? So immediately he accepted that. And before that happened, Samika Rishi got up, he scolded his son. What nonsense you did. How can you curse Parikshit Maharaj? Parikshit Maharaj was stopping the Kali Purusha to enter. Your curse is a gateway for Kali Purusha to enter now. Isn't it? It's a gateway now. So immediately, he was, what do you call that? Shringi was regretful of what he has done, but he already did curse. And the curse is already accepted by Parikshit Maharaj. So the first thing Parikshit did, as soon as he got the curse, he immediately resigned from all his duties. He gave the entire kingdom, which is what? Entire planet, to Janmejaya, his son. And immediately he left. He left the house. He said, I only have 7 days and 7 nights left. And I have a lot of questions. I have to go and attend SSR. I have to finish my SSR session. 7 sessions, 7 days, 7 nights. Self-realization I have to get before I leave my body. That's the most important thing. Parikshit Maharaj immediately gave everything to his mother. He told his mother that I'm going now. Thank you very much for giving birth to me. Now it's time for me to do my duty of life. Right? And then he went back among the rishis. And when Parikshit Maharaj among the rishis, it was a news that spread without any Facebook, without any social media. It went across the entire 14 planetary systems. That Parikshit Maharaj has gone and is sitting and he has some questions and there is a great discussion that is going to start. The news just spread. And as soon as it spread, all the great rishis assembled at the place. Right? Assembled at the place, waiting to hear what is he going to ask and whom is he going to ask. Who is that person? Who is that great person who is going to speak the highest truth? Right? The greatest knowledge ever that was revealed. Who is going to be that person? So this is so finished. Number 1, who is Parikshit Maharaj? Number 2, why did he go to Ganga? Now you know why he went to Ganga, the banks of Ganga. Third track, how and why Srimad Bhagavatam descended. Vedavyas is the one who compiled all the Vedas. And Vedas are not like 2-3 books to compile. It is explained if you keep all the Vedas on the planet itself, surface is not enough to cover the Veda. To be covered by the Vedas. There's so many Vedas are there. So he compiled all these Vedas, and as you know, in Puranas, Ityasas, Samhitas, Upanishads, so much. And Vedavyas in the canto of Srimad Bhagavatam 4th chapter 30th says, I am feeling incomplete, though I myself am fully equipped with everything required of the Vedas. He has done his job, but he is feeling incomplete. Just imagine the situation of Vedavyas. He finished everything. Pura Veda likh diya. But he is not feeling happy. Sometimes when you do work in the office, you finish your work, but you're not feeling satisfied because you have not done your best. Something was lacking. Like that he was feeling. At that time, Vedavyasa's guru came. Who is Vedavyasa's guru? Narad Muni. He came and asked Vedavyas, why are you upset? And Vedavyas told, something is not making me happy. At that time, Narad Muni made a big mistake. Right? He told, you have spoken about Krishna in Mahabharata. But where did you talk about the relationship of Pandavas and Krishna in Mahabharata? You have spoken about Krishna orchestrating the war in Kurukshetra. But where did you speak about Yashoda's love for Krishna? Where did you speak about the loving exchanges of devotees and God? You have just given theory knowledge to everybody. But you have not spoken about love of devotees and God. Love of Bhagavatas on Bhagavan. Bhagavatas are the people who take Bhagavan in their hearts. Right? So that is why the scripture name is Bhagavatam. Meaning the scripture which talks about the love of devotees for God. Like great devotees like Prahalad, Dhruva are the only two devotees we know. But there's so many more. Ambrish Maharaj, Ritu Maharaj, Kapila Muni. Right? If you read this, like Rahugana, so many. You know, the Bhagavatam is filled with so many. Rishabdev. Right? So many. Yeah. So then this was told, Narad Muni told, actually, if you have done so much hard work and your boss comes and tells you wasted your time, how will you feel? Imagine Vedavyas was told by his guru, you wasted your time and everybody's time by writing all that Vedas. What use is that Vedas that you have written where you have not glorified the Supreme Lord? So then on the instruction of Vedavyas, on the instruction of Narad Muni, Vedavyas again picked up the pen and he started writing, and again the person came to write it when he was speaking. Who was that? Ganeshji. He came. And again they completed the final scripture that was written on this planet and given by Vedavyas was Srimad Bhagavatam. Final. Then he kept the pen down. Right? So you know why Srimad Bhagavatam descended. Track number 4. Who is Sukadeva Goswami? How many have the name Sukadeva Goswami? Very less number of people know who is Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami is the son of Vyasadeva. Actually, he was a parrot in Goloka. Sukadeva Goswami is a parrot. How many have eaten fruits which are bitten by a parrot? Anybody? Guava? Yes. And they are more nectarian than other fruits. Because the parrot has bitten means it has selected the best fruit in the tree. And it has bitten, its beak will even make it sweeter. A lot of people think, hey, this bitten fruit, don't give it to me. But that is the fruit you should take. That is the most nectarian. Right? In the same way, Sukadeva Goswami is a parrot of Srimati Radharani, and Lord Krishna felt Bhagavatam is so sweet. But if Sukadeva Goswami speaks, it will become even more sweeter. Because he is a parrot in the spiritual world. Right? So he appeared again, and he was there in the womb of Vyasadev's wife. And while Vyasadeva was compiling the entire Bhagavatam, he was also narrating it to his wife. And when he was narrating it to his wife, the wife was listening or not, I don't know. But Sukadeva Goswami in the womb of Vyasadev's wife was listening the entire Bhagavatam. And after hearing the entire Bhagavatam, he understood what is Maya. What is Maya Shakti? And if I come out of the womb, this Maya will conquer me. So I need to make sure that I don't come out of the womb. Is that a good decision? How is it possible that you don't come out of the womb? But that decision was taken. He understood that the 3 modes of material nature, Sattva-guna, Rajaguna, Tamoguna, are going to dominate on me. So he decided, I will not come out of the womb. 9 months passed. He is supposed to come out. He said, I am not coming out. His father, Vedavyas, was like, I know you have problems, but your mother will have more problems. Come out. He said, I am not coming out. Okay, 2-3 more months passed. 1 year, he did not come out. 2 years, he did not come out. 5 years, he did not come out. 10 years, he did not come out. 14 years, he did not come out. Just imagine the situation of his mother. She can't even move now. How can you carry a 14-year-old boy in your stomach? She literally was sitting there. When Vedavyas was in so much tension, anxiety, "Ye kaisa bachcha hai? He's not coming out only." 16 years, he did not come out. Then Vedavyas told, "I have to take special help now." So he went to Lord Krishna and he told, "Please come and speak to my son who is not ready to come out." And Krishna asked him, "Why is he not ready to come out?" He said, "Because of your Maya Shakti, Krishna. As soon as he comes out, you throw your Maya Shakti. He's worried that Maya Shakti will come on him." What is the meaning of Maya Shakti? Maya means that which is not there. You'll start believing that. Duality. How do you measure heat? By not measuring the cold. Right? The thermometer. Actually, there is no way to measure cold. There is only measure to measure heat. By reversing it, you see the cold. So duality is what you see in the world. Male and female are duality. Heat and cold is duality. This is Maya creating the duality. So all the three modes of mental nature, Tamoguna, Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, all these are creating dualities. So all this will bombard on a person, he'll forget why he has taken birth, he'll work in companies without even knowing he'll die. So Sukadeva Goswami is also worried that if I come out of the womb, your Maya Shakti will catch me. I'm not going to come out. Very strategic decision he took. But the problem is he has to come out. Nature's law, he has to come out. So Krishna came and told Sukadeva Goswami, "Bhaiya, you have to come out. I can't help it. You have to come out." And he told, "I'm not going to come out, Krishna, because your Maya Shakti will take over me as soon as I come out. Till now, I'm in the spiritual world, inside the womb. If I come out, I'll be in the material world." Right? Then Krishna thought about it and he gave that benediction that he never gave to anyone. He told, "You will be the only person who has ever traveled on the planet who is not being touched by my Maya Shakti. Now you can come out. I am giving you the assurance. No Maya will bind you. You will have full vision of spiritual vision. You will not have any material vision." Then he came out at the age of 16. And as soon as he came out at the age of 16, what did he do? He immediately started walking into the forest. Just imagine, mother is waiting for the child for 16 years. He comes out, gets up, and is walking. Right? And immediately mother, "Hey, Vyasdev, go get my son. I need to talk to him." At least give some opportunity. He's just walking into the forest and he's walking naked. Right? He's not wearing anything. He just came out of the womb. And he's been in the womb for such a long time. Can you imagine the complexion that he had? Small children complexion, how is it? So nice, right? Just imagine a 16-year-old boy with the same complexion. How beautiful he must be. Right? And he was so beautiful, so handsome. He just started walking. And as soon as he started walking, I'll show the next picture. As soon as he started walking, what happened? He saw some beautiful girls. They were taking bath in a river. And most of them were naked. They were taking bath in a river. And as soon as Sukadeva Goswami, a 16-year-old young boy, he started walking by that river, all the girls stood up and were looking at Sukadeva Goswami. They're completely naked. And Sukadeva Goswami is a young boy. It's a very, wrong situation. And as soon as Sukadeva Goswami walked away, behind him running was old Vyasdev. As soon as Vyasdev came, all the girls took their clothes and put on themselves. And Vyasdev was shocked. "Hey, what is this? I am an old fellow. My son is a young fellow. You are covering your body, looking at me. I am old. And he's a young fellow. He looked at all of you. You are not feeling shy." Then all the girls, they told Sukadeva Goswami, they told Vyasdev, so here's Sukadeva Goswami. And they're completely, and as soon as Vyasdev came, they're covering themselves. Right? So they told, "You, even though you are Vyasadev, still you are affected by the modes of mental nature. But your son is not affected by the modes of mental nature. He is only seeing soul, spiritual. He is not seeing anything material. For him, there is no difference between male and female. That is the reason we didn't feel any shy in front of your son. Right? We just felt that he is not even looking at us. He is looking at our soul. Right? Like that. That is a greatness. And many common people never understood why is Sukadeva Goswami like that. Right? So they would ridicule him. They will, tie some dabbas behind him when he's walking. They'll pass urine when he's walking, just to, do. But Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita to that second chapter, 69th sloka. Yanisa sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sanisa pashyato muni. So he says, the Lord Krishna explains, what is day for a spiritual people is night for material people. What is night for material people is day for spiritual people. You can't understand spiritual people. Materialistic people can never understand what youngsters are sitting in VSK and learning Bhagavatam today. Can they understand? They can understand. Only people with spiritual inclination can understand what is happening here. Normal people can understand. I'm sure you are encouraging so many of your friends. Are they coming? They will not come. They cannot come because their level of consciousness is not there. You are fortunate. One, you don't know that you are spiritually conscious. Second, you are fortunate that Krishna is making you to come here. You should realize that. How fortunate we are to hear all this. Right? It's not possible, but the most intelligent people are not intelligent. They think they are intelligent with IITs, IIMs and all that, but they're the biggest fools on the planet because they don't know why they are sitting here also. Why they're existing also, they don't know. They're only busy accumulating wealth. So Sukadeva Goswami was not understood by anyone. Now you know who is Sukadeva Goswami. You know that, right? Okay. Now, the questions of Parikshit Maharaj. How did this both meet in first place? So, when Parikshit Maharaj sat down, he asked some very important questions. And he asked, can somebody give me the answers to these questions? Right? So he asked basically, what is the duty? Look at this question. Oh, trustworthy Brahmanas, I now ask you about my immediate duty. Please, after proper deliberation, tell me the unalloyed duty of everyone in all circumstances, and especially for those who are just about to die. So Parikshit Maharaj's question was very generic. See, all other Puranas like Shiv Puran, Matsya Puran, all the places, there is a specific question asking who is Matsyadev, can you explain? Or who is Varahadev, can you explain? Or who is Lord Shiva, can you explain? Or who is Devi, can you explain? So the whole Purana is about explaining that Devi or that particular incarnation. But the greatness of Srimad Bhagavatam was, it's a completely open-ended question. What is that question? What is the duty of a person before he dies? Is that question applicable to anybody here? How many here is not going to die? Everybody is going to die. Just a matter of time. And how many, and especially who are just about to die. How many here are just about to die? Everybody. You don't know who. Your car is parked there. How many of you can give me assurance that you'll go back to the car? Am I scaring you? Nobody can give assurance. Padam, padam, yat vipadam, natesham. At every step there is danger of death. That is material world. Srimad Bhagavatam says this. Right? So Parikshit Maharaj, as soon as he asked this question, immediately in that assembly, it is explained who were there in that assembly, including Lord Shiva, sages, Gautama, Vasishtha, Parasara, Vishwamitra, Angira, Parashurama, right? And even Narada and Lord Shiva, Brahma, Mahesh, everybody were there in that assembly. They all felt, who is the right person to give the answer to this? That person should not be affected with the three modes of mental nature. Only then he can give the answer to that. And who is that person? Sukadeva Goswami. When Sukadeva Goswami came there, a 16-year-old boy came there. Beautiful scene. Whoever did this painting? So this is Sukadeva Goswami, and here is Parikshit. Family of sages who come from different planets. Only here, different planets they came. They're sitting there. And Sukadeva Goswami agreed to answer those questions. A 16-year-old boy is speaking in front of Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, right? Narada, just a 16-year-old boy. It was such a beautiful assembly, right? And what is the mood in which the knowledge should be taken? Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshyanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshina. Right? You should serve that person. You should please that guru. Then the knowledge will be revealed because he is a tattva darshi. And Parikshit Maharaj pleased Sukadeva Goswami by telling the questions he has. A sage is not pleased by your donation. A sage is not pleased by the comforts you give. A sage is pleased when you ask questions. When a great devotee comes, ask questions. Then he'll be pleased. Why? Because his duty is to answer questions. His duty is to spread the knowledge. Right? So when you get a great sadhu, like you all know, the local sadhu here, nearby Chinnajit Swami Maharaj. If you go and give him a nice seat to sit, nice juice to drink, he'll say, okay. But you sit down and say, I have some doubts in Bhagavatam. He'll be so happy. Yes, please ask me. I want to tell. Because that is what gives pleasure to the sadhus. Srila Prabhupada, so much pleasure he got when he was giving Bhagavatam. Right? So he asked the questions. So you see initially he's praising. Upadekshan Jnana Sattva. You have to praise. He's saying, you are the spiritual master of the great saints and devotees. I am therefore begging to you to show me the way of perfection for all person, and especially for one who is about to die. Right? And you can see the verse numbers also. It's there in the first canto, 19th chapter, 37th shloka. Please let me know what a man should hear. Now, here's the question. Very, very important question. He's saying, please let me know what a man should hear, chant, remember, and worship. Now, he's not stopping there. He's also saying, also, what he should not do. Please explain all this to me. Meaning, whom he should not worship also is being asked. Because he knows in Kali Yuga, people will worship people who are not supposed to be worshipped also. He knows. 5,000 years back only Parikshit Maharaj knew that so many fake avatars will come on this planet. So he asked Sukadeva Goswami how to identify whom to worship. Are you all following? Yeah? That was a very important question. And then he said, the fortunate King Parikshit, inquiring further, said, O Brahmana, please describe in full detail how and where the mind has to be applied and how the conception can be fixed so that the dirty things in a person's mind can be removed. How many have dirty things in your minds here? Abominable, dirty things. Sometimes you feel, gee, the Galiz alochana vastunnadi. Such a sick thought has come to my mind. How can you remove those thoughts? Rexona soap? How will you remove? How will you clean your mind? Only by chanting Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Yeah. But you're not ready to break his fast. Can you check if Prashadam has come? Yeah. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken by Sukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj at the banks of Ganges at the most crucial time, 7 days away from death. And 7 days and 7 nights, Parikshit Maharaj did not drink, he did not have prasadam, he was just attentively sitting and hearing. Yeah? Just come and find out. Yeah. Yeah, it's near Meerut. And then one of the persons sitting in that assembly was Sutta Goswami. And Sutta Goswami was given the benediction by Sukadeva Goswami that you can repeat whatever you heard here when the right repeated it at the beginning of Kali Yuga in a place called Naimisharanya. Right? And who is Sutta Goswami? He is the son of Saunaka Rishi. And Saunaka Rishi was killed by Lord Balramji. That's another story. Why Balramji had to kill. And because he killed that Rishi, he did not come to do war in the Mahabharata, when the Mahabharata was happening. He was on Tirtha Yatra during that time. Balramji was doing Tirtha Yatra. Krishna was in Mahabharata with the Pandavas. Yeah. So anyway, you're curious about all these things, you should have a Bhagavatam set. Then you can learn all these things, right? Yeah. So what is there in Canto 1? I'm just going to give a brief glimpse of what is there in this beautiful literature called Srimad Bhagavatam. Huh? Questions of pages. You can see appearance of Narad Muni, Narad Muni's instruction to Vyasadeva, conversation between Narada and Vyasadeva, the right Bhagavatam, whatever I told. Beautiful conversation. So the son of Drona was punished, Ashwadhama. Then passing over Bhishma, the last conversation between Bhishma and Krishna. Beautiful conversation. Then prayers of Queen Kunti are also there. You know, Krishna entering into Dwarka after the whole war is over. Then Pandavas, how they retired, how Parikshit Maharaj received the age of Kali, whole punishment and the curse of Parikshit is all there in Canto 1. About manifestation of the world, where you'll learn about the change in heart, the process of creation, how the creation started, how Brahma was given what he has. Brahma is not the creator, he is the secondary creator. Meaning he was given already all the raw material. Brick, cement, iron, everything was provided. Then he built the house. Right? So how he built it, no science can explain. But Bhagavatam already has the detail. How, what came from what, how Brahma created. Then special and how many incarnations of God will be there and how we can identify them. All this is answered. Third canto is where the story of Karda Muni starts. Where Karda Muni and Devahuti were married. And who is Devahuti is Karda Muni, you have to read the marriage. And what a best man should be, what a best woman should be is there in these chapters. Karda Muni and Devahuti. And when Devahuti gave birth to Kapila, Kapila was the son of Devahuti and he was also incarnation of Krishna. And he spoke the knowledge to his mother. The conversation between mother and son is very famous. And that is where he reveals what happens inside the womb. I told you, right? One of the chapters of what happens inside the womb. You should read that. And the calculation of time, atom, creation of Kumaras, appearance of Varahadev, first appearance of Varahadev, many more appearances. Then how Jaya and Vijay were cursed. We know all this. We kind of know it. But if you read the scripture itself with Sanskrit and translate it into English and Telugu and Hindi, many languages. Today, Bhagavatam is translated in more than 80 languages across the planet. That is the greatness of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Yes. Victory of Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha over the kingdom, and the fight between Varahadev and Hiranyaksha, the marriage of Karda Muni and Devahuti, right? So many Kapila Muni's instructions to his mother. Yes, so many chapters. Canto. First hero comes, Lord Shiva's conversation with Daksha Prajapati's punishment, right? And his Sati, putting a place to herself. But these stories were told in a very small way in TV serial format. But when you read this Bhagavatam, you'll be shocked to see what come out of it. Actually, if you read Bhagavatam, you will realize how many lessons our scriptures are giving to us. Maybe in future, when we finish Bhagavad Gita, whenever in our batch, I will start discussing one pastime, and you'll be shocked. Itna lessons tha iske andar. TV serial never showed anything. It was just like a story. There's so many lessons behind it. So there is, Prithu Maharaj appears here, and also the very, very famous Dhruva Maharaj, the son of Uttanapad, right? And who had a problem sitting on his father's lap. He did tapasya and saw Lord Krishna. That beautiful explanation of Dhruva and how people only know that much. But what happened after that? After Dhruva came, what did he did? How long he ruled the planet? How he went back to the spiritual world? All these details are there. Is a little dangerous canto because one of the chapters here is description of the hellish planets. All the hells, what happens there is mentioned. But more than that, Rishabdev story is there. This is my favorite. Rishabdev. And there is another story. Rishabdev is actually origin of all Jain community. They come from Rishabdev's teachings. Unfortunately, they kept Rishabdev aside. They are going with some other philosophy, thinking it's Rishabdev's. So, Jadabharata and Rahugana. The conversation between Rahugana king and Jadabharata, who was a beggar on the streets. That conversation, Prabhupada Mataji, if you read these chapters now, the forest of material fire, and here from chapter number 9 all the way through chapter number 15. It's unbelievable chapters. I mean, entire philosophy of why we have taken birth, what is happening, your eyes will open. But if you read this book in the beginning, you'll stop reading Bhagavatam. So never read Bhagavatam from between. Bhagavatam has to read from first page. Right? Yeah. So then sixth canto describe the duties of the mankind. Ajamila's story. Very important story to learn. The conversation between Yamadutas and Vishnudutas. What happens at the time of death? So beautifully explained in this canto. Narayana Kavaja. How Vritrasura was killed. The story of Vritrasura. Someday I'll explain the story of Vritrasura. the demon Vritrasura. You all should learn. Even a Rakshasa can be the greatest devotee of God. Vritrasura that we see in Telugu movie is just like a Rakshas. But Vritrasura is there in Bhagavatam in a completely different position. Chitraketu, how many heard the story of Chitraketu? Brothers and Mata, I am telling you, even I was in the same situation many years ago. But after reading this, I understood what is India great for. What is the culture? What is it giving? Right? And who are these great personalities? Your love for your country, your love for our culture, your love for your parents, your love for a religion, your love for God will immensely increase if you just read Bhagavatam. Right? So Canto 7, this is the favorite canto of God himself. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Krishna appeared here, every day he used to go and read me the 7th canto. The 7th canto has the story of Prahlad. Prahlad and Hiranyakashipu. Right? Now we all know little story, little movie of Prahlad. But what happened after Hiranyakashipu was killed? What all Prahlad did on this planet? And he speaks about the perfect. These are the chapters that you should read to every person who's getting married. Right? 4 social classes, 4 spiritual classes, behavior of a perfect person, ideal family life. If these 4 chapters are read in every college, there will not be a single case of divorce in the planet, I'm telling you. Single case of any problem between husband and wife. Just read these 4 chapters. Problem is, we don't know what to educate. That is the reason there are so many relationship problems, so much problem in society. And Prahlad Maharaj addressed them in Bhagavatam Mundu, so many years back. 8th canto, it's about cosmic creation, Gajendra Moksha, right? Beautiful praise of Gajendra and Mohini Murti, Lord Krishna appearing as Mohini Murti, bewildering the whole world, and Samudra Manthan and Vamana Leela. Vamana Leela, there are so many. I'll tell you, Vamana Leela, I only thought that, okay, one leg here, one leg here, one leg. So many things are there before that, right? So many lessons for us. How to maintain our money, what are we spending our money on? All these things are there in the story of Bali Maharaj. And Canto 9, right? The downfall of Shaubari Muni, there are so many other stories here. And there are names of all the dynasties, all the Manus. It is mentioned here. And finally, the pinnacle. Right? Bhagavatam is explained is the body of Krishna. The first canto is about the lotus feet of Krishna. Second canto is about the knees of Krishna. Third canto, the thighs and the hips. Right? Fourth and fifth, abdomen. Sixth and seventh is chest, heart. Seventh is eighth and ninth, shoulders, neck, and finally the face of Krishna is 10th canto. Right? And Supreme Lord Krishna appears in the 10th canto. And so many chapters, 96 chapters are there. 4 books, Krishna's canto. Right? So many explanation of why Krishna came, how he came, what he did, everything is explained. But if you directly read Krishna, you're not going to understand. You have to go through all. And then the 11th canto is Uddhava Gita, pure devotional service being discussed, even greater than Bhagavad Gita. Right? What he spoke to Uddhava. And the 12th canto, age of deterioration, Markandeya Muni's story, and what is going to happen in Kali Yuga. If you want to know the newspaper for the next 1,000 years, you have to read the 12th canto. Nothing more will happen than what is written in 12th canto. Every nonsense that people are going to do is already written. Right? What will be sold, how people will be abused, how people will be treated. Everything is already there. You don't have to do any research. You understanding? So what is the glories? Hare Krishna. So what is the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam? Right? How Bhagavatam is so glorious as compared to the scriptures? Right? I'll briefly tell you. Currently, this presentation I had made like 7 years ago. Now it's already 80 plus languages. Bhagavatam is printed and kept all around the world. Bhagavatam entire set is there in Chinese, in Japanese, in French, in Greek, in Arabic, all languages in India. Now just this year, last year it got printed and published in Malayalam. The entire Bhagavatam set. Right? It's not easy. It's not like you're just writing what? Every little Sanskrit word has to be translated. And the whole purports of Prabhupada have to be translated. Transcripted. It's very big work. an entire, see, there is Potana Bhagavatam in Telugu also. But Potana Bhagavatam is just a story. You will not get instructions out of it. Instructions come in this Bhagavatam where the same story is broken up and given verse by verse, and also how it can be applied in our life is explained. That is the greatness of Bhagavatam that we are talking about here. And this Bhagavatam set was gifted to me by my Siksha Guru on my birthday. He came to my house. I still remember that morning. He knocked my door and gave me a big box. Prabhuji, what is this? He said, Bhagavatam for you. I said, Prabhuji, my God, when am I going to read all this? He just simply said, I have prayed to Krishna, you will read one day. And I'm still grateful to my Siksha Guru, Srinivas Acharya Prabhu, who gave me that. And by his mercy, by his blessings, I read the entire Bhagavatam. It was a time of my life when I was going through some very difficult times. I sat down, and you don't have to do in the same way. But every day I read 16 hours for 4 months. I finished the entire Bhagavatam. 12 cantos. But that is how it had to happen to me. There are many people who go to office, every day they read 5 pages of Bhagavatam. They finish the entire Bhagavatam in 4 years. And you can proudly feel that I have read Bhagavatam. I have read the entire Bhagavad given by Sukadeva Goswami. It's possible for everyone, right? And especially parents who have so many anxieties on properties, on relationships, on family, all that anxieties will go. My father was gifted Bhagavatam by my another Siksha Guru, Balgovind Prabhu. He gifted Bhagavatam to my father. My father coming from, Reddy background and all, we are not so much into scriptures or anything. He said, when am I going to read all this? He just gifted it. He started reading it. And he started reading it so much. Every day at 2 o'clock, after having lunch, he'll take a nap. Then 3 o'clock, he'll get up. 3 to 7 o'clock every single day, he read Bhagavatam. My father finished Bhagavatam before me. He completely finished Bhagavatam. He again started reading Bhagavatam. He finished the second time. And again started reading Bhagavatam. The third time, in third canto, he got brain hemorrhage. And now he is completely bedridden. But I asked him, are you eager to finish Bhagavatam again? He said, yes, I am. He's so nectarian, Prabhuji and Matajis. And so many times he told me that I don't know what you will give to me. I don't know what any father can. I don't know what any father can say. I just heard it. Yeah. He told me the greatest gift that I've ever received is Bhagavatam. Right? It satisfied me in my life. I had nothing else to ask. I wish my father was here. He was many times here. And whenever I gave him this discourse, the ritual was, I'll finish this discourse. He will take the mic and tell everybody, I am satisfied in my life reading Bhagavatam. You also can be. I'm missing my father here today. But I know his blessings are there. So my mother heard Bhagavatam when my father read it. And so many times you can read Bhagavatam. And every time you read, it will only give you more and more happiness. And don't think, can I read this or not? You can read it, provided you have it. Right? If you don't have it, how can you read it? And you can gift it to so many. Greatest gift. It can't be. What you can buy for 6,000-7,000, what do you get? One petrol tank you'll fill. Again, huh? What more can you give to anybody? Mobile phone also doesn't come. Third class mobile also is 7,000 at least. Isn't it? And how long does it last? But one Bhagavatam set can change life. My mother gifted Bhagavatam set to her classmates. She's 74. She somehow got in touch with her classmates. She gave Bhagavatam set to 3 classmates. 2 of them finished reading entire Bhagavatam. Right? And they come and tell my mother, that's the greatest gift you have given me as a friend. Right? So we have placed Bhagavatam in so many temples. And there is one temple, where that Brahmana Pujari is so grateful. He lives in Nanakramguda. How many know Ranganath Swami temple in Nanakramguda? You know that place? Between all the buildings now. That Prabhuji, we gifted Bhagavatam set to him. He every day cries reading Bhagavatam. That how fortunate can I be? Right? Getting Bhagavatam. Like that. So we can gift Bhagavatam to temples. Whole world can change only through knowledge, right? You can take a Bhagavatam set for yourself. You can gift it to a temple. You can give it to your parents. You can give it to your siblings and pray intensely that one day they should read, and they will read one day. Don't think how, when, who will read. Did any of you plan to sit here and hear about Bhagavatam in your life? Who is planning all this? Manam picholam. We are thinking that we are planning. He is planning everything for us, right? Like that. So, glories of Bhagavatam. It has 18,000 verses, 20,000 pages. So, if you read 10 pages a day, you are going to finish in 6 to 7 years. 20 pages a day, which might be 40 minutes, you will finish in 3 years. If you read a little more, maybe 1 hour a day, you can finish it in 2.5 years also. There is a Prabhuji in our satsang, is Subbarao Prabhu. He's a very big position. You know, he's like India head of a big IT company. And he is not only reading, he is making another 30 people read along with him. Every Tuesday, every Thursday, he conducts a conference call. 30 people join and they read page by page, page by page. They are already crossed 8th canto in the last 2 years. And I'm intensely praying he should not stop. There is one more Prabhuji in Santosh Aitya Prabhu. He lives near ECA in our satsang group. He recently started same Bhagavad reading cycle, and more than 20 people are joining, and he's already in 2nd canto. Right? We can have study circles to finish Bhagavatam, provided you have Bhagavatam. And it's a life-changing experience. Yeah, so I kept it like that. Yeah. So Srimad Bhagavatam is called Amala Puran, spotless Puran. And one of the speciality of Srimad Bhagavatam is the words that Vyasadeva used, Sanskrit words, cannot be seen in any other Purana. Some unique new Sanskrit words were used in Bhagavatam. And the meters, see, Sanskrit verses are not read, they are sung. Bhagavad Gita, you know, it's like sung. And you can only sing and hear verses, right? Like for example, Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tata dehantaras praptir dhiras tatramuyati. It's so, you might be thinking, how did you learn all this? I didn't learn, I just sang. If you sing, you will remember. If you read, you will not remember. You understood? We sing verses. Harpanya dosho pahatasvabhava prasyamitvam dharma samuda cheta yat shreyaschanischitam bruhitan me shishyashyateham shadimam tvam prapannam. Prabhuji Sanskrit. Which Sanskrit is? It is a song. You just keep singing. Within 2 days, you will not even understand how you learned that verse, but you learn it. Because Sanskrit is a language which our organs also understand. Our body understands. The nature understands. You understand? If you teach Sanskrit verses to your children and yourself, your capacity to handle stress will go down. Sorry, handle will go up. You can easily handle stress, anger, because all your organs will come into your control. It's a big science in itself, Sanskrit. And forget about Sanskrit. Just by reading the meaning of these verses, you will be delivered. How many of you read entire Bhagavad Gita that day in my house? We all sat down. Yeah. What was the experience? Right? We can finish the entire Bhagavatam like that. 12 days, 12 cantos. Khatam karo. Just read the translations. Once get a glimpse and then get into deep. Like that. Prashadam has come. Haribol. One second. I'm getting a little headache because I'm the hook was. Just want to make sure. 1 second. Prashadam వచ్చిందా? ఎక్కడున్నావు? So that is Srimad Bhagavatam, and it is an amazing example of what it can do to your children. If your children read Bhagavatam, of course, not every child can read unless they're born from a good pious background. But there was this one family, and her Guru Maharaj was Hanmat Preksha Maharaj, one of the sannyasis in ISKCON. And they used to live in a place called, this is Mataji, Arudha Mataji. The true story. And she asked her Guru Maharaj, I'm living in this Boise. There is a place called Boise in US. Not many people know. And not many Indians stay there also at that time. She has What should I teach my children? I have two sons. What should I teach? Her Guru Maharaj told Hanumat Presh Maharaj, just teach them Bhagavatam every day. That is the same. So she homeschooled her children. And for the first many years, she only taught Bhagavatam. No science, no maths, nothing. Only Bhagavatam. And then when they came to a certain age, she taught them other subjects also. Math, science, everything. Right? And you won't believe what that did. This boy is her elder son, Radhika Raman. He became the youngest PhD scholar from Oxford University. Youngest PhD scholar at the age of 19. Can you imagine what Bhagavatam can do? We don't have faith in our scriptures. Faith. But what it is, his mental strength. If you hear the lectures of Radhika Raman Prabhu, go to YouTube and say Radhika Raman Prabhu lectures. You'll be shocked the way he speaks. He recites Bhagavatam like that. And the way he quotes from different scriptures, very complicated lectures also, he just puts it in such an easy way, philosophy. And he's a teacher now. He's a professor in a university in America. Right? What kind of things happen? And his younger brother is a brahmachari. Right? He became a great devotee also. So what Bhagavatam can do is practically shown here. And how can we repay Srila Prabhupada, who has given Bhagavatam, even on his, you can see this? This is a video I'm trying to play. On the bed, he is going to leave his body. Even days before, he is translating Bhagavatam. Right? Word by word, he is translating Bhagavatam for all of us. How can we repay such people who have given their life for all of us to read Bhagavatam and become perfect in our lives? Right? So there is a verse in Bhagavatam which says how you can repay such people. How you can repay anybody? Money? By learning what they have given. Right? And even that is removed. They said in Bhagavatam it is told, such people cannot be repaid. Such people cannot be repaid. Because they've given their life for us. They don't even know us. They've given their life for us. And what is scripture saying? Can be repaid except by folding the palms, put some water, and just pray and thank them. That's all. You can't do anything more. You can't repay them. There is nothing on the planet you can repay them. But what you can do is you can read them and you can give it to others. That is the greatest gift that you can give to the planet. Yes, ma'am. Bhagavad Gita. Yes. No, Bhagavatam, first canto till 10th canto, he finished. 10th canto, 13th chapter, Prabhupada finished. Remaining, he already translated entire 10th canto into Krishna book. One book called Krishna book, the story form. Then he instructed his disciples how to finish the 11th and 12th canto. So 11th and 12th canto got sold after he left. Remaining sept was sold even during he was there. In fact, he took Bhagavatam first canto in 3 books to America when he left from here. And that was the 3 books that he sold to the sailor of the ship and got $20 and used that to land in America. He did the first distribution of Bhagavatam. Yeah. Thank you, Guru. So, it's my humble request is don't hesitate to buy, which cannot be bought. You cannot buy anything for 6,000-7,000. Actually, to be really precise, the price is 5,600 for a Telugu set. And around 7,500 for English set. I personally prefer English set because I have learned in English more fluent and I understand. I preach in English, so it's good for me in English. My father read it in Telugu. Hindi set is also very good. Very good. Telugu, Hindi is so beautifully translated. You can also buy for your parents in Hindi. Every day, encourage them to read few pages, or you can read with them and they'll finish it. Right? And you can even gift it to others. You want to gift it to a temple, you can let me know. We will place it in a temple. Or you know a temple, you go and place it there. And tell the Brahmana, please take this. Every day you read and make 2 people read. While you are reading, whoever comes to temple, make them sit and read. And the whole world will change into spiritual world just by reading Bhagavatam. Okay? So I'll stop it here. If you are interested, send me a message. I'll anyway put a message of Subbara Prabhu, who is coordinating this Bhagavatam Prime. And Bhadra Purnima is a day. It is 10th September now, which is hardly 1 week away. Is when there is a benediction in Bhagavatam that whoever distributes or buys or gives Bhagavatam to others before Bhadra Purnima, he definitely goes back to the spiritual world. Right? So why don't we take that chance? Right? We keep doing that every year. So you can book your sets now because the prices are changing. There is a new set, BBT, we are saying Bhaktivanda Book Trust. There is ISKCON, there is Bhaktivanda Book Trust, 2 different, but they are one only, 2 different. They are putting a new print, which is increasing all rates by 2,000 after 10 September. We are told so. So we have some stock, try to block them, take yours, give it to others, and treat it as the greatest investment that you want. Okay? So thank you very much for coming. And we'll sing Narshing Aarti and wrap up. I'm feeling a little tired. Yes. So,
I was not here how Radha.
yes. Radharani has a lotus feet. She has 19 symbols under her feet. 19 symbols. Lotus represents Padma, and Padma represents Srimati Lakshmi. So all Lakshmi Devis, all the potency of all the Lakshmi Devis is coming from the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. Okay.
Generally, when you grow up, right,
Yeah. Rukmini is Lakshmi Devi, that is right.
so there is no clear explanation on the
Radharani.
Radha and Gokula.
Yes. Yeah. So which is what actually we wanted to cover today as part of Who is God. But apparently, because not many came today and schedule was a little up and down, I decided to do Bhagavatam. We'll discuss all this program, all this. Actually, today evening there is a lecture I'm giving on Radhashtami. On Radhashtami. There I'll be discussing some of this. I'll send you the recording. Or you can see in my channel, it'll be there by night. Huh? And I'll explain who is Radharani and why she is not mentioned in the Vedas. That is also mentioned.
Right. Yeah, my teacher also asked not to use them in my signal and
So many questions are there. Yes. But they're very valid questions. We'll discuss them as you progress. Any other questions anybody has? He has questions? वो नीचे गिरा देखो यहाँ पे और देखो यहाँ पे पीछे पीछे उसको कैप दे दो हाँ हरी बोल या नमस्ते नरसिंहाय तब कर कमल बरे नाथाम अद्भुत श्रृंगार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु केशवदूता नर हरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे अवतार कमल बरे नाथा अद्भुत श्रृंगार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु केशवदूता नर हरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव 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 जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल भक्त विघ्ननाश नरसिंहदेव भगवान की भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की ऐसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की श्रील गुरुदेव की निताय गौर हरि प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल हरे कृष्णा so happy Radha to all of you please honor prasadam now and today is Radhashtami again a very very auspicious day so if you have a thought we have heard about Bhagavatam today so if you have a thought please execute it immediately before the thought goes away because Kali Yuga means no memory also right we keep forgetting so you can send a message you don't have to buy it today but pledge it that I'm going to buy it and that is equal to buying you can send a message to Subhara Prabhu I'll send it right away in the group before I forget I also have to I'll forget otherwise so as I said the Telugu Bhagavatam set is 5,600 I think and English is around 7,200 or something like that so pledge it and take it well that price you will not get that kind of set I'll tell you one thing the kind of quality how is the set probably you have taken one there amazing quality the pages the pictures you know the photographs everything right so take as many as you can this is the greatest investment what can you get for that money right you can't get anything these days outside for 5,000 rupees give it to your loved ones have your own set don't take for your parents first take for yourself I always say that first thing people I am an this first right whether you are living in a hostel or whether you are living in a house doesn't matter all it needs is this much space even a suitcase you can keep it take one every day and read and have your own copy so you can make your own notes right so I wish you all the best for buying and reading Bhagavatam today on Radhashtami day and thank you all for coming to Vaishnav Seva Kunj we might disperse a little earlier than planned which is okay if you all liked it we can come here again yeah a little more time it will become even more colder we can even spend a whole night you know I remember this hall I'll stop the recording this hall doesn't need to be recorded 1 second yeah Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari